Take a good look at this picture. The truth is unpopular, and the further we get from it, the more foreign it appears. We are unable at face value often to accept the truth, but relying on our intellectual abilities, we can overcome that barrier. And then once getting a taste of the truth, that's all we want. Nothing else. Not the crap. It's like getting a home cooked meal, healthy meal, compared to fast food. Alan Millard, Men's Equality. What is natural or normal or innate to our human existence? What is cultural or a social influence? Humans are the most adaptable species on Earth. This is well demonstrated through an extreme change in the traditional roles men and women have had that were defied by women through equal employment opportunity, affirmative action, which has changed the whole human dynamics of our existence. Yet women still have a problem accepting their part in the dating process, as they fail to mutually initiate and express interest in men, a capability that women commonly express not only in traditional roles, as the case being mothers and housewives, but in traditional professions as school teachers, nurses, and waitresses. The female ego is the problem, not men's. Why is it when two women get together, including lesbians or not, there's no ego evaluation difference that it requires one of the two to compensate by paying for the other's presence? This power dynamic expressed in the one-way effort by the male trying to please the female sets a precedence in forming a relationship built upon this unequal premise. Ironically, when women entered occupations traditionally held by men, feminists and many women influenced by them shamed men and their male ego for having a problem with it, when it was merely the male's self respect he received from being in that role and the servitude attributed to that role, expected by women per his manhood identity. A man's so called ego merely came from serving women per his defined existence. Thus, a man had no ego defined in his own right, but merely as that of a tool, utility, and disposable pawn for women. And he was, per his grooming, proud of that. Yet women, especially upon acquiring their new role, accessing, the male's resources through equal employment opportunity and affirmative action, can't even express a mutual interest and effort in the mating dating process applied to getting together with men. This effect appears to be greed at the expense of men and humanity. Did women destroy the very thing they seek in men? At this point, who cares what women want? Have they not been catered to enough, too much, as to even contradict themselves with men held in the balance, with record numbers of male suicide occurring as a result? Further egotistical audacity comes when women, with their exaggerated egos, believe that men, due to their lowly status to women, are somehow obligated to protect women. What nerve! Men have no more obligation to protect women than women have to protect men. Ridiculous. Women commonly pride themselves in doing the opposite pertaining to men. Ironically, truth be known, it's men, especially due to how they are treated by women, who are in more need of protection from women and the effects of women. A man's value has been deflated not only due to poor values in women, but also due to poor character correlated to match in women, who have been groomed from girlhood to hate men and disrespect, actually have no regard for men. They are influenced to be aware of men, demonizing instead of understanding the male sexuality, especially more so by feminist influence, which has further built upon this traditional prejudice. Sex, that's all men ever think about. Yes, and you purposely have it that way, don't you? If a dog is starved food, food is all it thinks about too. It can be just as easily manipulated by food as a man can by sex. Here's a footnote. Men are used by women and manipulated by women at men's own expense for women to get what they want. Russians use dogs, German shepherds, they deprived of food to deliver bombs to German tanks, believing there was food to be had at that tank. The process, blowing themselves up in the futile attempt to get the food they were deprived. Who would ever devise depriving a woman a need and manipulating her by her deprivation? Instead, sadly, men, in contrast, pride themselves, not dissimilar to the loyal dog, these German shepherds, in not only providing women their needs, but practically every desire to feel good about themselves as men. What an extreme contrast. A man's value as an individual person has yet to be created, acknowledged, or appreciated as that attributed to a woman. She carries a special authority wherever she goes as a female attached to her person. Her high heels are an exaggerated example of this effect. Portable pedestals. A man is deemed a disposable pawn or robot to be used in any preferable way he can at women's discretion. This is part of the reason laws that pertain to interactions between men and women are sculpted to women's favor. Only if men were to gain individual/personal value would they then be deemed worthy of laws that equally represent them and their personal needs, as is the case for women, even to the extreme to be had at men's expense. In their case, this is a stark realization of men's value compared to women's. This double or triple whammy affecting human dynamics is the problem we are faced with today, in that men are at the same time pathetically without any default existing for their defined existence, still trying to fulfill their masculine role in their servitude to women. This is very evident in our government, as men serve as mere figureheads bound by a servitude to women, with laws and social policies continually made to accommodate. Maybe it's population control. Is it an innate or a social construct? Did someone or something foreign to our human existence foresee this result built into female character? Or was the character built into the female to affect the result?